Listen carefully, because I'm about to deliver a stark, uncomfortable truth that most people would rather avoid, but it's a truth that absolutely must be spoken. Someone has to say it, and it might as well be me. The reality is, you're likely broke. And before your mind races to 1,000 excuses that your income isn't high enough, that the economic system is inherently rigged against you, or that you simply haven't had a lucky break, let me cut straight to the core issue. You are broke, not because of external forces or a lack of opportunity, but because you are consistently and persistently making poor financial choices, actively purchasing things that serve only to perpetuate your state of poverty. These aren't just minor missteps, they are deliberate decisions to acquire items that drain your resources and sabotage your future prosperity. Now, I understand that hearing such blunt honesty can be jarring, even painful, and your immediate instinct might be to dismiss this message and click away. But if you truly aspire to a different financial future, if you're genuinely tired of the endless cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, then I urge you to pause and listen. I've built my fortune, and countless others have built theirs, by grasping and rigorously applying one fundamental principle that unequivocally distinguishes the truly wealthy from everyone else. It's not a secret formula or a complex algorithm. It's deceptively simple, yet brutally effective. Rich people consistently buy assets. Poor people, on the other hand, habitually buy liabilities, often deluding themselves into believing these liabilities are assets. That, in its rawest form, is the unvarnished truth of financial success and failure. I can almost hear your thoughts forming. Here we go again. Another successful individual lecturing me about not affording life's small pleasures, like a simple cup of coffee. Let me clarify immediately. This isn't about denying yourself a morning coffee or any other minor indulgence. My message is far more profound and impactful. We're going to dissect 5 very specific categories of purchases, items that are not just inconvenient expenses, but rather insidious financial black holes actively destroying your potential for future wealth. I'm going to lay them bare for you, detailing exactly how they erode your financial stability. But before we dive into the specifics, I need you to commit to something. If you are genuinely serious about transforming your financial reality, if the idea of endlessly working until you drop dead fills you with dread, and if you dream of a retirement free from financial anxiety, then you must take action. Hit that subscribe button right now. Become part of this community, a collective of individuals dedicated to understanding that money is a powerful tool, a lever for building a better life, not a frivolous toy to be squandered thoughtlessly. We are building a movement here, a group of people ready to confront uncomfortable truths and make the necessary changes to achieve true financial freedom. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most controversial item you absolutely must cease buying immediately: brand new cars. I know this particular truth tends to ignite a passionate firestorm of anger and defensiveness in many, but honestly, I couldn't care less about those reactions. From a purely financial perspective, purchasing a brand new car is one of the most monumentally foolish decisions a person can make, and I will unequivocally prove it to you with simple, irrefutable mathematics. The moment, and I mean the literal second, you drive that shiny new vehicle off the dealership lot, it suffers an immediate and substantial depreciation hit, losing anywhere from 20 to 30% of its initial value. Just like that, gone, evaporated into thin air. You have effectively and quite literally set thousands upon thousands of your hard-earned dollars on fire, all for the fleeting, intangible privilege of that new car smell and the temporary ego boost it provides. Within the first 12 months of ownership, you're already down a full 30% of what you paid. By the end of year 3, you've typically forfeited a staggering 50% of your initial investment. What you mistakenly believe you're buying is reliable transportation. What you are actually acquiring is rapid, relentless depreciation, meticulously wrapped in polished sheet metal and a hefty price tag. But the true financial crime, the element that truly baffles and infuriates me, is how people finance these rapidly depreciating assets. They willingly take out substantial loans, often at interest rates of 5, 6, or even 7%, to acquire something that is losing value at a rate faster than ice cream melts under a scorching July sun. Think about the sheer irrationality of this. You are actively paying interest on a diminishing asset. This isn't just a bad financial move, it's an act of financial suicide. And don't even get me started on the individuals who choose to lease a car. Leasing is, without a shadow of a doubt, the absolute worst financial decision one can make in the automotive realm. You are, in essence, renting a depreciating asset, which means that at the conclusion of the lease term, you are left with precisely nothing. Zero equity, zero ownership. You have dutifully handed over thousands of dollars to the dealership for the fleeting privilege of borrowing their vehicle for a few years. Congratulations, you've just significantly enriched the dealership owner, while simultaneously ensuring you remain exactly where you started, broke, with no asset to show for your considerable outflow of cash. Now, the chorus of predictable excuses is already playing in my head. But Kevin, I need a reliable car. I have children. I must get to work. Of course you do. Everyone needs reliable transportation, but there's a supremely intelligent, financially sound alternative. Purchase a 3-year-old certified pre-owned car. Let some other financially misguided individual absorb that initial brutal depreciation hit. You, in turn, acquire a dependable vehicle, often still under manufacturer's warranty, for literally half the price of a new one. That, my friends, is called being judicious and intelligent with your money. That is precisely what wealthy individuals do. We are not preoccupied with superficial displays of wealth or the need to impress our neighbors with a shiny new status symbol. Our singular focus is on the systematic, strategic accumulation of wealth. Do you know what I drove when I was meticulously building my first company? A battered old car that barely ran. A vehicle that certainly didn't turn any heads. Did it bruise my ego a little? Perhaps, initially. Did it negatively impact my bank account? Not in the slightest. And that, right there, encapsulates the critical distinction. Poor people spend their money in an attempt to look rich. Rich people, conversely, spend their money in ways that actively make them richer. Which path do you choose? Because you simply cannot pursue both simultaneously. The car you choose to drive conveys absolutely nothing about your actual net worth. The robust balance in your investment account, growing steadily year after year, that tells the real impactful story. Every single dollar you foolishly squander on a brand new car is a dollar that isn't compounding in the stock market, isn't earning vital dividends, isn't diligently building your future financial security. This initial error, this prioritization of fleeting appearance over enduring substance, is where countless individuals make their first critical financial mistake, and it tragically sets the negative trajectory for virtually every other poor financial decision they will subsequently make throughout their lives. They mistakenly prioritize the appearance of success over the arduous, often unglamorous process of actually being successful. This fundamental misstep seamlessly leads us to the second significant factor systematically keeping you impoverished, a factor even more insidious because society, in its collective wisdom, actively convinces you it's a shrewd investment. The second thing you unequivocally need to stop buying is our too much house. This particular statement is guaranteed to ruffle more than a few feathers, as we've been relentlessly indoctrinated by a pervasive multi-generational lie that your primary residence is your most significant asset. Let me be unequivocally clear. That premise is fundamentally flawed. Your primary residence, the house you live in, is your single biggest liability. Allow me to elaborate on the crucial distinction. An asset, by definition, is something that consistently puts money into your pocket. A liability, conversely, is something that relentlessly takes money out of your pocket. Your house, the dwelling you occupy every day, falls squarely into the latter category, draining your finances every single month without fail. Consider the litany of expenses, the colossal monthly mortgage payment, the ever-increasing property taxes, the mandatory insurance premiums, the constant stream of maintenance costs, both anticipated and unexpected, the utility bills that seem to inflate with each passing season, landscaping expenses, and the inevitable repairs that crop up with frustrating regularity. It is, by its very nature, a perpetual money pit. And the larger the house, the grander and deeper that money pit becomes, sucking more and more of your hard-earned cash into its abyss. But Kevin, I can hear the objection. Real estate always appreciates in value, doesn't it? Does it? I invite you to pose that very question to the countless individuals who purchased homes at the peak of the market in 2007, only to witness their home values plummet into catastrophic collapse. Or perhaps ask the millions of homeowners who are currently underwater on their mortgages, owing more on their property than it's worth. The truth is, real estate can appreciate sometimes in certain markets, and only if you're fortunate enough to time it right. But even when it does increase in value, that equity remains largely inaccessible. You can't simply pull cash out of your walls without either selling your primary residence, thus displacing yourself, or taking out yet another loan against it, which merely plunges you deeper into debt. And speaking of debt, let me offer you another essential truth. Debt is a powerful financial tool that paradoxically makes rich people richer and poor people poorer. When you judiciously borrow money to acquire income-generating assets, such as investing in stocks or building a profitable business, that's considered good debt because you're leveraging capital to grow your wealth. However, when you borrow an exorbitant sum of money to purchase a house significantly larger than you actually require or can comfortably afford, that is unequivocally bad debt, because you are leveraging yourself to acquire a massive, ongoing liability. Here's the financial madness that truly drives me to despair. People stretch their finances to the absolute breaking point, buying the biggest house the bank is willing to approve them for. If the bank greenlights them for a $500,000 mortgage, they immediately go out and buy a $500,000 house. This behavior is, quite frankly, insane. The bank has absolutely no vested interest in your long-term financial prosperity. The bank's sole objective is to ensnare you in as much debt as humanly possible, because that is precisely how they generate their substantial profits. They are not your benevolent financial advisor, they are your creditor. And creditors, by their very nature, desire for you to be indebted to them for the next 30 years, diligently channeling your hard-earned interest payments directly into their coffers. Do you genuinely comprehend the total cost of a $500,000 house with a standard 30-year mortgage? Factoring in the cumulative interest, you're looking at paying well over $800,000. You are effectively paying an additional $300,000, a staggering sum, merely for the privilege of borrowing the principal amount. That isn't building wealth. That's a massive, systematic transfer of wealth from your pocket directly into the bank's bottom line. So, what's the financially intelligent alternative? It's remarkably simple, yet counterintuitive for many. Purchase a house that costs half of what the bank says you can afford. If they pre-approve you for $500,000, seek out and buy a $250,000 house. I genuinely don't care if it's smaller, if it lacks the trendy granite countertops, or if it doesn't boast walk-in closets in every bedroom. Buy the house you need, not the house your ego or societal pressures want. Then, and this is the crucial part, take all that substantial extra money you're now saving every single month, the money that would have otherwise gone towards a significantly larger mortgage payment, heftier property taxes, and inflated utility bills, and rigorously invest it. Channel it into the stock market. Systematically build a diversified investment portfolio. Acquire dividend-paying stocks. Let that capital diligently work for you, generating returns and compounding your wealth instead of working tirelessly for the bank. This, my friends, is the profound secret that truly wealthy individuals intuitively grasp. We live demonstrably below our means. Consider Warren Buffett, one of the richest men to have ever walked the earth, who still resides in the same modest house he purchased decades ago for a mere $31,000. Why? Because he profoundly understands that every dollar unnecessarily spent on an overly large house is a dollar that cannot compound exponentially within his formidable investment portfolio. That fundamentally is opportunity cost, and opportunity cost is the silent, insidious killer of nascent wealth. The third insidious habit that is relentlessly keeping you poor, and this one is undoubtedly going to sting a little, is eating out all the time. I'm not just referring to the occasional restaurant meal, I'm talking about the constant, habitual reliance on takeout services, the daily visits to coffee shops, the convenience of ubiquitous delivery apps. You are, quite frankly, hemorrhaging money on food, and in many cases, you are completely oblivious to the sheer magnitude of the financial drain. Let me confront you with some hard, undeniable numbers. The average American currently spends in excess of $3,000 annually eating out. $3,000. Now let's apply the power of compound interest to that figure. Do you know what $3,000 consistently invested every year for 30 years could become, assuming a conservative average annual return of 10%? It would transform into a staggering sum exceeding $500,000. Think about that for a moment. You are actively trading a potential $500,000 in your retirement wealth, a sum that could secure your future comfort and freedom, for the fleeting convenience and temporary gratification of fancy meals that you will likely forget about within 24 hours. But the situation is often far more dire because most individuals aren't merely spending $3,000 a year. Many are easily spending $5,000, $6,000, or even $7,000 annually. Consider the insidious accumulation: the morning coffee purchased on the way to work, the quick lunch grabbed from a nearby eatery, the frequent dinners ordered because you're too tired to cook after a long day. Add to that the indulgent weekend brunches, the regular date nights, and the occasional celebratory meals. These seemingly small, isolated expenditures aggregate into truly massive sums faster than you could possibly imagine. And here's the most frustrating aspect of this financial leak. People will frequently lament to me that they don't have any money to invest, and then I observe them casually spending $15 on a single salad for lunch. The unvarnished truth is you absolutely do have the money. You are simply choosing to allocate it to things that vanish almost immediately, instead of strategically directing it towards assets that consistently grow and appreciate over time. Now, I am certainly not advocating for a monastic existence devoid of all culinary pleasure. I'm not suggesting you never eat out again. What I am urging is a fundamental shift towards being immensely strategic and intentional about your food choices. The vast majority of your meals should be prepared at home. Dedicate some time on Sundays to meal prepping for the week ahead. Pack your lunch for work. Master the art of brewing your own coffee at home. These aren't burdensome sacrifices. They are profoundly smart, strategic financial decisions that will pay enormous dividends over the long run. And when you do choose to eat out, make it a deliberate, special occasion. Make it count. Don't waste your precious money on mediocre chain restaurants merely because you lack the foresight or motivation to cook. That isn't living well. That's simply being financially irresponsible and lazy. Wealthy individuals deeply understand and respect the intrinsic value of every single dollar. Financially struggling individuals, conversely, often fall into the trap of believing that small recurring expenses don't truly matter. But those seemingly insignificant small expenses, when left unchecked, invariably metastasize into massive, wealth-destroying expenditures over time. The fourth major destroyer of your financial future is the relentless acquisition of clothes and accessories you absolutely do not need. And here, I'm not exclusively targeting the exorbitant designer handbags, the luxury watches, or the high-end jewelry, although those are, without question, absolute financial sinkholes. My focus extends to the pervasive, culturally ingrained need to constantly update your wardrobe with every passing season, to always possess the latest sneaker release, to impulsively buy clothes that you wear perhaps once or twice before banishing them to the forgotten recesses of your closet. Take a moment to genuinely assess your own closet. It's likely overflowing with garments you bought on a whim, wore a handful of times, and now they simply sit there, inert, taking up valuable space and representing a significant amount of wasted capital. That isn't a functional wardrobe. It's a veritable museum of poor financial decisions and consumerist impulses. Here is the unfiltered truth about clothing. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, cares about what you are wearing as much as you mistakenly believe they do. No one is diligently tracking whether you wore the same shirt twice within a single week. And for those rare individuals who are judging you based solely on your attire, those are precisely the kind of people whose shallow opinions should hold absolutely no weight or significance in your life anyway. Do you know what truly impresses me? A robust, aggressively growing investment portfolio, a steadily increasing net worth, the unassailable freedom and security of financial independence, not a closet filled with 1,000 pairs of shoes that will inevitably be out of style within 6 months. But this issue runs far deeper than just clothes. This is fundamentally about the pervasive mentality of unbridled consumption that our society actively fosters. We live in an environment that relentlessly bombards you with the deceptive message that buying more things, acquiring newer gadgets, and upgrading your possessions will somehow magically make you happier. A new phone every single year, a new outfit for every conceivable occasion, the constant urge to upgrade, update, and replace. It is an insidious, meticulously crafted trap, expertly designed to keep you in a perpetual cycle of spending, thereby ensuring you remain perpetually poor. The fashion industry, the tech industry, and countless others have meticulously built their entire business models on the premise of making you feel fundamentally inadequate with what you currently possess, convincing you that what you have is simply not good enough. And, regrettably, many people fall for this illusion time and time again. Let me unveil the approach taken by genuinely wealthy individuals. We prioritize quality items that are built to last. We wear them conscientiously until they are genuinely worn out and no longer functional. We are entirely unconcerned with fleeting fashion trends or the superficial need to impress complete strangers. A well-tailored classic suit, a durable, high-quality pair of shoes, a reliable, functional watch. The philosophy is simple. Buy once, buy quality, and then decisively move on with your life. Your hard-earned money has infinitely better, more productive places to be than funneling it into some corporate giant's coffers simply because they manage to manipulate you into believing you require their latest product to feel valuable or worthy. You don't. Your inherent value has absolutely nothing to do with the brands you wear or the accessories you flaunt, and everything to do with the tangible wealth and impact you diligently build over your lifetime. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and perhaps most insidious financial leak that is relentlessly keeping you poor. Subscriptions and memberships you don't actually use. This category encompasses a wide array of seemingly minor recurring expenses that, when aggregated, create a significant financial drain. Think about those gym memberships you faithfully pay for each month but rarely, if ever, utilize. Consider the multitude of streaming services you've signed up for only to forget about them or use them sparingly. Factor in the various apps with monthly fees that you hardly open, the premium subscriptions for services you could easily access for free, those magazine subscriptions that pile up unread, or the specialized software you ostensibly need but rarely employ. It's akin to a slow, persistent leak in your bank account, a relentless drip, drip, drip of $10 here, $15 there, $20 somewhere else. You remain largely oblivious to the cumulative impact until you finally take the time to sit down, pore over your bank statements, and meticulously add up the total. I urge you right now to take immediate action. Pull out your most recent bank statement or credit card statement. Carefully scrutinize every single recurring charge listed. How many of those services are you genuinely using? How many are truly providing you with tangible, meaningful value? I can almost guarantee with absolute certainty that you are currently paying for at least 3 to 5 things, and quite possibly many more, that you have completely forgotten about or that offer negligible benefit. Your mission is simple, yet critical. Cancel them today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. This is, quite literally, free money you are passively giving away to corporations that are banking on your inertia and laziness to cancel. Do not allow them to win this easy victory. But beyond the immediate financial savings, there's a deeper, more fundamental issue at play. These numerous subscriptions often represent a particular mindset, a pervasive belief that you require constant entertainment, constant access to information, constant stimulation, or an unending stream of content to feel fulfilled. The harsh truth is, you don't. Your true financial imperative is to build substantial wealth. Your fundamental need is to invest wisely in your future. Every single dollar that flows towards a subscription service you barely use is a dollar that is not actively working for you in the market. It's a dollar that is not compounding, not generating returns, and critically not diligently building your retirement nest egg. And mark my words, When you eventually reach the age of 70, facing the stark reality of being unable to afford retirement, you will profoundly regret every single one of those streaming services you watched perhaps twice a month, every forgotten gym membership, and every unused app subscription. The cumulative weight of these seemingly small, thoughtless expenditures will have robbed you of your financial freedom. So, let me consolidate this essential message for you, bringing all these critical points into sharp focus. To break free from the shackles of poverty and systematically build lasting wealth, you must immediately implement these 5 decisive changes. Stop buying brand new cars. Stop purchasing houses that are far too large for your actual needs. Cease the incessant habit of eating out all the time. Stop acquiring clothes and accessories you don't genuinely need or frequently use. And critically, stop paying for subscriptions and memberships that offer you no real value. These 5 categories of expenditures, more than anything else, represent the fundamental divergence between remaining perpetually broke and ascending to the ranks of the truly wealthy. Understand this, it's not primarily about the size of your salary. I have witnessed numerous individuals earning as little as $40,000 a year meticulously build serious, substantial wealth precisely because they deeply understood and diligently applied these foundational financial principles. Conversely, I have observed countless people earning upwards of $200,000 a year, perpetually trapped in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, all because they stubbornly refuse to grasp and implement these same lessons. The ultimate choice, and therefore the ultimate responsibility, rests entirely with you. You can choose to persist in your current habits, thereby guaranteeing you remain exactly where you are today, or you can make the difficult, often uncomfortable, but ultimately life-altering decisions to ruthlessly cut out the financial waste and embark on the powerful journey of building authentic, enduring wealth. It's not a complicated formula, it's just profoundly uncomfortable for many. And regrettably, most people will invariably choose the immediate gratification of comfort over the long-term liberation of wealth every single time. Don't be most people. Now, if the unvarnished truths in this message have truly resonated with you, if your eyes have been opened, and if you are finally ready to shed the tired excuses and begin the vital work of making your money work for you, then I demand that you take immediate action. Don't just absorb this information. Act on it. Smash that like button right now. Tell the algorithm that this vital, truth-telling content matters and needs to reach more people. Leave a comment below and be brutally honest. Tell me which of these 5 financial traps you are most guilty of falling into. We are all on a learning journey here, and vulnerability is the first step towards transformation. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, what on earth are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of financially savvy individuals. But don't stop there. Take your commitment to the next level and become a member of this channel. By becoming a member, you are making a direct investment in your own financial education, aligning yourself with a community of like-minded individuals who are genuinely serious about constructing robust, lasting wealth. We are committed to consistently delivering the raw, unvarnished truth, the practical strategies, and the no-nonsense advice that genuinely works in the real world. Money, in its impartial wisdom, does not care about your feelings. It does not entertain your excuses. It cares solely and exclusively about the concrete decisions you make. So, make better decisions. Stop buying stupid things that drain your potential. Start actively and intelligently building your wealth. That is the undisputed path to winning. That is the unequivocal strategy to getting rich. Now get out there and make it happen.